In today's video, we have Emily Hayden, and we answer your questions. Hey guys, coming to you live from Venice, California, home of Emily Hayden of Emily Hayden Fitness. Emily posted on her Instagram yesterday a Q&A, and we got a lot of responses.
A lot of good questions.
And unfortunately, there are so many good questions. It's going to be tough to get them all in, but let's not waste any time. Let's go ahead and get this started. I'm going to take the first question, and the question is, do you recommend starting prep with a goal in mind? How do you decide when you're ready? From comp point of view, I know it's hard to ever truly believe that. So this is actually a great topic because I do believe there is value in not putting pressure on yourself right away and instead choosing a window or a time frame when you want to compete. Now, there are some situations where you're a pro and you need to be a little bit more specific with your prep. So I'd love to get Emily's point of view on this because we have already chosen her show date. So let me know your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this is also a great topic. So especially in the NPC amateur division, one thing that you guys can know is that there's literally shows all the time and there's shows everywhere. So even if there's not one directly in your vicinity, there might be one a few cities over. So I always tell people, don't stress. If you can't do that one particular show, you can do the show the next weekend. So I think it's important to have a goal time frame, like he was saying. Like, I know that I want to be ready in May and hopefully I can do this show, but don't put so much pressure on yourself that you're doing anything and everything to get ready for the show, which sometimes may or may not be healthy.
Yeah, so Emily's got a lot of experience. Even before she worked with me, she had done like 14 shows and knows herself very well. With novice competitors, I really like the idea of not placing the stress on yourself that every week the scale has to drop, and if it doesn't, you get stressed out and you feel like we need to make adjustments. Sometimes allowing the body to adapt, not every week, but every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, you see a steadier progress on more calories and you can train better for longer. So it's very individual, but I would say err on the side of not choosing a show the earlier in your career. Later in your career, you know what to expect a little bit more. Good. The next question, when you are in your off season, do you make sure to hit your macros to a T or within 5 to 10 grams? And when you are on prep, does that change to hitting them exactly, or does it stay more like within a gram or two? So let's go ahead and start with you on that.
So we're going to first address the off season. I don't call it off season, I call it improvement season. In previous improvement seasons, I have tracked literally 5 to 10 grams, like making sure I'm very on point, and I've done that for years. This improvement season, I just knew that mentally, physically, everything, I just wanted to break from tracking. I've been doing it for years and I'm very good at eyeballing, I'm very good at estimating, and I can eat throughout the day knowing I'm about to go work out, I need carbs for energy, or it's a post-workout, I'm gonna minimize my fats. So I've learned to be very knowledgeable, or I've learned to use my knowledge from macros and apply that to my training so I can perform better, I can feel better, and have flexibility to be able to go out and have a meal with my husband or friends, whatever it might be. During season, I absolutely hit my macros to the T. I think that's something that's so easy to do. It just comes down to planning ahead of time. And if you don't hit your macros to a T, don't consider yourself a failure. Just do the work that needs to be done, prepare ahead of time, and hit your macros the next day.
Very well said. I think a lot of this compares to the last question where we talked about experience. You see, Emily's been tracking her diet for years. I've literally tracked every macro I ate for a year straight. For us, food looks a little bit different. It's like the Matrix. We don't see food anymore. We just see numbers. And so our ability to guesstimate our macros is very high compared to someone who's novice. So if I'm working with someone for the first time and I feel like they need to learn how to flexible diet successfully prior to a contest prep, I might have them be a little bit more accurate. Now, for any of us who get into a contest prep, you know how competitive you begin to feel. Literally every gram, you want to be on point every day, and that can be a problem, but that competitiveness is going to make you successful. It's going to make you plan ahead. If you go over one day, you're going to balance it out the next, and so on. So yes, during contest prep, your competitive side is going to kick in.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so Summer Herman, have you guys ever gotten into an argument? LOL. Love you, Em. Hope you had fun at the expo this weekend. That's a good idea because this video is going to come out after the expo. Mm-hmm. So did we have fun at the expo? Yes, we did.
Yeah, we had so much fun. I have no idea. It's tomorrow.
Okay, so we both discussed this before, and we both have different stories to tell.
Something else came to mind for both of us. So for me, the argument that we had was one week when I checked in, and I think I was like nervous about checking in. Not nervous, but like here it is. And he was like, go refeed twice, like in a row. I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, right? I read something wrong. And he was like, no, I said go refeed twice in a row. And I was like, are you sure? And he's like, I'm sure.
Yes. So that's the competitive side of an athlete, and that's why sometimes having a coach helps you because you're not truly objective. And so in Emily's mind, she didn't drop that week, and my response was not to increase cardio or cut calories, but to actually give her consecutive refeed days. And for those that aren't familiar, refeed days are higher carb, a little bit of lower fat and protein. But that first time we did a double refeed, you had a really good response.
Yes, it worked. I was a little nervous,
yeah.
but it was just new to me.
Yeah.
But one thing that's great is I've always trusted Paul. I've always trusted his judgment. I know that he knows exactly what he's doing, so I don't ever question it like, are you sure it'll work? I just question it like, it's okay, I can suffer if I need to.
Yes. Actually, yes. She will eat dirt and run for 24 hours straight if I had to ask her to.
It's true.
So when I read this question, I thought of last year when we were getting ready to go to USA's. Her husband and I were driving, but she was going to take a flight just because it's easier and we thought less stressful. Well, the flight got delayed, and she called and said the flight got delayed, and I said, Emily, let's not stress out. And she immediately cut me off and was like, I'm not stressed. Why would I be stressed, Paul? This is a bikini competition. It's not that big of a deal. I'll be fine. And from then, I just
He was
said,
like surprised. He was like, why are you not freaking out?
I deal with a lot of different personalities, and usually around competition time, things are tense. But again, with all your experience and 14 shows and however many we've done now at this point, I should know better. But yeah, I will never question your ability to stay calm.
I'll never question your refeeds again. You know now when you say refeed, I'm like, sup?
Well, you're getting a full diet break this time around.
Yes.